Hey everybody, and welcome back to another speed build video. Today I am working on an Argentinian pasta shop. I found this pasta shop called La Genovesa. I will put someone professional pronouncing that right about here.
La Genovesa.
Thank you, professional. So I found this pasta shop on Google Earth while cruising the streets of Buenos Aires. Again, I think it's the last 2 or 3 builds I've made came from Buenos Aires. I've just been spending time going around the blocks in this really great neighborhood, and it's a really big city, so there's a lot to see. And I really get caught up in looking at the balconies and seeing what kinds of plants and things people have out, what they're taking care of, what thrives in the area, and stuff like that. So this building is on Staff Street, where I'm hiding all of my staff buildings. The whole point of this build is that I really wanted to make a passing city, and I didn't want it to look like a zoo at all. So staff buildings and things like that need to be hidden away in buildings that do belong in a city. And this city in particular is sort of a lost city in the jungle, and it's not a popular one, but it's a beautiful one. So I've been trying to find the most beautiful buildings to add to my street, and making a residential slash business area is perfect for this street. This building will be hiding quarantine building, which means that we are getting closer to animals. I'm pretty excited because once I get animals into the city, I can get guests into the city. And I thought at one point I was going to be able to do that with just a coffee shop, and for some reason it didn't attract them. So what I'm going to do is put some habitat animals underneath the waterfall, and it's going to be like a walk-through area. I have the path built right now, but I haven't delved into, digging out the cave and making it look nice. I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to do it, if I'm going to try to make it look natural in some way, or if it's going to be a staged area for tourists or people in the city to actually go to. Again, I don't really want it to look like a zoo. I want it to look like the guests are just stumbling upon the animals in their natural habitats. And that's kind of tough to do it's kind of tough to do with habitat animals. So we'll see how that works out. I'm not so sure. But I've put them at least underneath the waterfall, so it's a little bit hidden away if it doesn't look completely proper. I'm not really sure which animals to choose yet. I haven't gone through, I want all of the animals in this city to be at least native to the tropical biome, not necessarily just to South America. I think maybe I would be a little bit limited, but I don't even know how big this city is going to be able to get, at least not at this much detail. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, if you have any suggestions for animals, let me know. Something that maybe isn't so incredibly shy from people. I'm not sure. Are peacocks tropical animals? No, I don't think so. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about it, and we can maybe do something fun with a habitat at some point. I kind of have some plans for this side. I've sort of been building the city on the side of this mountain, and it's pretty much all on the same elevation. There's a little bit of shifts, but on the sides of mountains in South America, at least, it's pretty steep. So I need to get some more vertical faces built in, and some strong downward sloping paths and things like that. Create some more levels. And I would love for like the staff buildings that need to be really, really close to exhibits and habitats, to be, have I been saying habitat animals or exhibit animals the whole time? Under the waterfall, I'm putting, crap. Under the waterfall, I'm putting exhibit animals, and habitat animals, such as big cats and things, will hopefully be on a really natural, thick jungle side of the mountain where people can just walk by and like they're on a path deep into the woods. And I would love to hide the staff buildings that need to be close to those habitats, hidden inside the mountain in some way, but not in a way that it's completely unrealistic to exist. Like I would love for them to have taken a cave and purposed it. But that's a whole big thing. We'll see how that goes when we come to it. But for now, I'm thinking a bit more about exhibit animals, and yeah, I'm not sure. So let me know if you have any ideas. So right now I'm working on a really tall wrought iron door, and I ended up figuring out that the more detail pieces you put in, even though they stick, they don't break the surface of the glass. They end up adding more detail that doesn't confuse the eye too much. And you'll see what I'm talking about later when I come to it and I start detailing this door more. But it was a really fun build, these doors, and I hope to maybe use them in some other spots in the city. So here's what I was talking about with the busyness and the complicatedness sticking out from the surface, but also being able to see what's in the back. I think it ends up giving it an extra dimension that I definitely didn't expect, and that ends up lending itself well to wrought iron and I suppose doors that are really well decorated and busy. The extra details that come from, see those, the angled pieces where only half are sticking through the glass. They definitely add some complicatedness, but they're muted grays so your eye doesn't pick it up right away, and it just creates a good texture. And that's often what I'm going for, is just passable textures, because the details can't be as fine as I would like them to be. So I'm always looking for replicating texture or tricking the eye into believing something is there when maybe it's only partially there. aspects of Spanish Colonial style architecture are the flourishes over the doors and windows, and it turns out to be one of the most difficult things to build in this game. Because it's so small and detailed, and it varies so very much. Here I was trying to build I don't really know what they're called, but the flourishes above the doors using art shapes, and it's so difficult because the sizes are also similar and the curves on the rounded pieces are also then so similar that it gets really, really difficult to get any variance even when you're varying the pieces. So you have to get pretty creative with what you use, and it takes a long time, for me at least, to sort through those options and figure out what is best. What I ended up coming to were the bamboo pieces, because they're flexicolor, which is huge, and they're actually quite thin shapes when you sink them into the wall. So they can be pretty diverse. And I could have also did what I did with the wrought iron doors by sinking half or part of the front facade or the end into the walls to get half circles and things, but I didn't on this one, but I'm going to keep that in my back pocket. And this is another piece that I just always use, or I have always been using, is this flower piece from the Indian set. It can be pretty diverse, but I noticed that it also can start to look a little bit samey, and I need to find some other pieces and not rely on that one so much. The art shape pieces for plaster pieces. I ended up changing it again because, like I said, I was not planning on making this 100% or trying to make it as close as possible as I could to the reference. But somewhere along the way I changed my mind, and I decided that I really needed a doorway in the middle of these two tall, skinny doors. And even though the residential entrance here on the right is where the staff will go into quarantine, I still wanted something that looked functional for everyone else, for guests and things. So I included the pasta shop instead of just filling that space with a window or something. here I'm adding the shop front. I've opened up the building a bit to add a door and some windows. And I planned to keep things pretty simple on this build, especially for the interior, because I'm getting a lot of pieces in the park and I want to keep things as detailed as possible. And I think that doing interiors is really cool for buildings that guests go into. And I've done interiors in most of these buildings, maybe not all of them, but I want to keep it simple, and all of them have except for the fruit stand. But yeah, keeping it simple is important for your piece count. The whole point is just give something believable looking to not distract your eye, basically. If you are going past a window in the game and you see what you see now on the screen, which is the shell of a staff building and a floating path, that will catch your eye because it doesn't look right. It looks out of place because everything else is so put together. But if you just have something in there to make it look somewhat believable, it's a decorated room for whatever purpose, your eye's not going to pay much attention. Maybe you'll stop to look at it because it's pretty, but it's not going to distract it in a way that takes away from the surrounding areas. So my focus from now on is to keep interiors simple and keep the detail on the outside of the buildings where everyone can see it. So here I've got basically the exterior of the pasta shop done. It's not a super detailed exterior either for this part of the shop. Usually the windows have more going on, but this pasta shop had decals on the windows, and Unfortunately, I don't really know how to simulate that in this game. Not yet, there aren't pieces for it. So the windows stay plain. I would love to be able to put a sign in there even, but I don't think we have one small enough to even hang a sign. Maybe I'll go back and look, or I'll look for future builds. But it stays simple and a quick window to look into when you're going by. So I ended up turning this front area of the pasta shop into an eating area. There are tables, bench seating, and a couple of stools, and I did that only because the plaster pieces were sticking out from the wall. It's a spot where you can get some food, and I figured I could turn it into that and create the idea that if you order freshly made pasta from a Genovesa, no, you say it again for me.
La Genovesa.
Thank you. If you came here and you ordered handmade pasta, I imagine the pasta maker could possibly throw it in a pot of boiling water and slather on some of his finest pesto or marinara sauce, whatever pasta sauce you prefer, and give you a delicious quick lunch or maybe early evening dinner, and you eat it there in the pasta shop. And this is where I had found the reference photos for the interior of the shop, and I switched up the service counter, which I'm just so happy I did, because the white wood is just, it's awful. It's not classy looking. It looks like it's from a barn or something. For some reason, the white just doesn't look good on wood. So yeah, I switched it up after seeing an actual picture of their counter in their shop. these flourishes here, these detail pieces, really gave me a run for my money. I didn't end up settling on the design for quite a while, and I think I actually ended up sleeping out of it. I can't quite remember. But I just was feeling at a loss with pieces. And I can only use a couple, some art shapes in that floral India piece. So it was a little bit difficult to get something that both looked similar to what was in the reference material, but also was unique to the city in some way, so that it could be a unique building. But now I am working on the door, and this is how I set up for the door. There's a lot of eyeballing to find the middle, but it's close enough. But I think this was the first time that I did a double circle sort of outline to help make a unique shape, and I really, really liked the way it worked out and how easy it was. So I think I'll end up doing that again. So I've come up with something better here for the decoration on the sides of the door. And I think it works better for a couple of different reasons. There's a border which is around that shape, which is a big deal, which usually happens on buildings. There's some sort of hard edge that separates the shape popping off of the wall from the same texture as the wall itself. So we have that, and it's also a circle instead of an oval, and the border above the door that's made out of that flower Indian shape are also circles. So it ends up not testing your eye so much. It ends up relating to each other much better, and so they don't stick out. They look like they belong. I forgot that I didn't include adding the other side of the building into the speed build. Sorry about that, but I remember now that I accidentally did it without recording, and I didn't want to go back and redo it and try to make you think that I was doing it for the first time and all of that stuff. So here are some nice shots of the finished products, the finished building, the finished pasta shop and apartment above, and enjoy. And thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!